Good morning. Today I have a treat for you. And I'm not talking about just Isidore running with us. I'm talking about the person we're going to speak today about. I'll see if some of you can guess. You've guessed in the past. So, he was considered to be associated with the devil. And that coupled with the fact that right before his death he thought it was premature to be given his rights. The sacrament, he refused it, and because of that he wasn't buried for 27 years. They refused to bring his body for burial. And he was a virtuoso who was considered to match his virtuosity only by his love for gambling and his love for the ladies. He had one child, but never. Hey, good morning. How are you? Going to play again volleyball? No. We're going running. All right. Take care. So, you want to play volleyball, Isidore? We'll see. Let's do our run, then we can consider playing volleyball with them later. Anyway, so who was that person? Anybody? All right, giving you some more clues. He was born in 1872. Forgive me. 1782 he was born and died in 1840. When Rossini, who was a friend of his, when his conductor suddenly died and he was looking who will conduct my operas, he asked this gentleman and he agreed. He was very tall, his fingers were slender, and were able to do this weird movements and connections, stretch out a lot. And people think that he had either Marfan's or Ehlers-Danlos, which is an issue where you have the ability to move your joints into strange positions. There are different types of Ehlers-Danlos. The skin can stretch, a very stretchable body. And because of his love for the ladies and because infectious disease were rampant, he was diagnosed with syphilis in 1822. Later in 1834 he was treated for tuberculosis but recovered very quickly. So, any takers for who we're talking about? Isidore, do we know who it is? A little louder, what? It was Niccolo Paganini, correct. Niccolo Paganini. Yes, an Italian virtuoso of the violin. They say that people were trying to sabotage, the church was trying to sabotage his concerts, and they would cut his strings. And during his performance, suddenly, boom, a string would pop and he would continue to play. And another string would pop and he would continue to play. And only one string would remain and he was unfazed and he continued to play his concert to the huge cries of applause and awe of his watchers. And the people we spoke about yesterday, which was Frederick Chopin and Franz Liszt, they were inspired by him. As a matter of fact, Franz Liszt wanted to become a priest, and if it wasn't, good morning, and if it wasn't for watching Paganini and what he was able to do with a violin and thinking, oh boy, maybe I can do this with the piano, and indeed Franz Liszt will become the Paganini of the piano. If it wasn't for Paganini, we would not have the beautiful music of Franz Liszt, who had ample time to create, although he thought he was already tired with life and with music at the age of 18. So back to our Niccolo Paganini. So Niccolo Paganini, his father was a trader but was not very successful with the trading, and he played the mandolin. It's a Italian kind of thing, like a little guitar, right, Isadore? The mandolin, beautiful sound it makes. And he learned the mandolin when he was 5 years old, and then when he was 6 he started playing the violin. And they quickly saw that he was getting better than his teachers. Teachers said, I don't know what to teach him anymore, so they sent him to his teachers, and their teachers sent him to their teachers. Basically end up becoming too big for any of them. And then in 1796, taking off your shoes, we're gonna run. In 1796, Napoleon Bonaparte goes into, we're gonna run, yes, slowly, slowly. Napoleon Bonaparte invades northern Italy, and Paganini and his father move a little bit to the suburbs of Genoa, still in the kingdom of Genoa, and that's where he is exposed to the guitar, and he loves the guitar, and he's a virtuoso on the guitar too, but he never makes concerts with the guitar. His performances will be behind closed doors on the guitar, and it will be really, he would say, the guitar is my personal companion. And when he later on in 1836 he's trying to make in Paris a gambling house, what they call it, like casino, and it fails. Let me hold your shoes. When it fails, he has to sell all his stuff. He's selling everything, but he refuses to sell his guitar. He leaves his guitar, except he does give a gift to Rossini, another Italian composer who wrote a lot of beautiful operas. He gives it to him, and they both signed the sound box of the guitar. So Niccolo Paganini in 1813 gets the first time his break, and he sings in La Scala in Milan. Идем. La Scala, the famous theater. Давай, Задорчик. Ну что с тобой, Люба? La Scala was at that time not like the opera houses we have today with their seats on the first floor. People will be standing on the first floor to listen to the music. Can you imagine? Isadore. The orchestra was playing not underneath. They were playing in full view. You would be able to see the orchestra. They were playing on the first floor. And if they didn't like the person who was singing, you know what they would do? They would say, boo, boo. And guess what? Even in 2006, which is now, in our century, 2006, they booed one of the opera singers off the stage. He had to leave. And you know what? His second had to quickly get up and continue where he finished without even having the opportunity to change into a costume. Yes. So it was a very tough crowd over there. Давай, Задорчик. And one of the people who went there complained that she would not be able to sometimes listen to the music because on the first floor they were traders of all kind. They would trade horses, they would sell other stuff. So there was a lot of geschäfte, a lot of selling being done. What's up? Your knee hurts? You need to walk a little? If you need to take a break and walk, you can walk a little bit. So let's go. Walk, but walk faster. So they probably where he was exposed to the life of the kind of like the casino of betting, and he would lose a lot of his money. He was an avid gambler. unfortunately. And in 1813, he would meet a singer that he would have a child with. Name of the child was Achilles, and he would go with him on all his tours, and even would stay with him to the moment of his death. So they never really made their marriage legal. And as we said, he had a lot of love affairs. So his first fame was 1828 when he performed in Vienna. Isadorчик, давай, Люба. 1827, he gets the Order of the Golden Spur from the Pope, and that order is given for people who do something to help the Catholic Church. So it is funny, 13 years later, they would not even let him get buried, but in 27 he's getting the special order from the Pope for how beautifully he plays and promoting the church. And that's after already having an illegitimate child, I mean, you know, out of wedlock. So we have Niccolo Paganini in 1828 going into Europe, becoming world famous, and that's when he is seen by our friends of yesterday. Frederick, what? Chopin, that's right. And Franz, what? Liszt, with a Z, not like list, like we make lists. Okay, so Franz Liszt, we visited his home in Hungary. Anyway, with his piano. He lived till 77 years old. Okay, so 1831 he goes to Paris. He makes his performances there. There's a beautiful painting, famous painting, where you can see Franz Liszt playing the piano.